Oh my day. Oh my day, Queen Lizzie, I'm sorry.
Hello, gents. Today we're trying American barbecue for the very first time. We've got a brisket here, nice cornbread, and then some mac and cheese as well with some sauces. It's about...
Oh my God, yes! That's a good reaction.
So we are here in York, England at an American smokehouse restaurant. And we're gonna try it and see how authentically American it actually is. And we're gonna be joined by some very special guests.
He's from South Africa and he's never been to an American barbecue place at all.
South Africa has a very big meat culture, so standards are high. That's very different.
Wow! Why are Americans loving so much sugar pork? Today we're going to find out by trying Gus's barbecue. We have massive platter, and we are going to take one bite of each thing and
Whoa! I know you're from where you're from.
We're foreign. Well, we don't know what we're doing.
Stop with the knife.
No, you don't need a knife?
No, you pull it apart with your hand. And listen, hold up. And you take...
After one bite of brisket, the person who flew across the Atlantic, believing American barbecue to be nothing more than meat with a big ego, fell silent. All of a sudden, long-held food beliefs start to crumble more quickly than a cheap lawn chair at a family gathering. The most amusing aspect is that it continues to occur. From doubtful Brits to brutally honest French tourists, they all show up prepared to pass judgment and somehow depart, questioning whether scheduling a second flight solely for a cookout is a perfectly reasonable life choice.
A man cooking salmonella underneath an umbrella in the summer.
They look very good.
Whoa, that looks amazing.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Bit emotional.
Have you guys ever had Southern barbecue before?
No, I've had this like bread.
You've had bread?
Irony of American BBQ is that practically everyone outside of the country believes they already understand it. A backyard barbecue, a few burgers, a few sausages, and someone confidently flipping meat every 30 seconds as if they were competing in the Olympics of needless tongue usage are typically what spring to mind when you ask a European daughter.
Licking it. Oh my God.
We have our pork ribs. We have our smoked chicken and turkey. This is our fatty end of our brisket. You got some jalapeno sausage. Those are the bacon burn-ins you kind of saw inside.
Oh.
For sides, we have our homemade mashed potatoes.
Look at that! Oh! Get up in there real. Oh! That's it right there. Hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, where you put that? 10!
First bite, man. That's your first ever bite of Texas barbecue. What do you think?
Amazing! Hey, that's a shark.
It sounds familiar because that's how BBQ is seen in many parts of the world. After that, folks arrive in the Carolinas, Texas, Tennessee, or Kansas City. When you enter a true smokehouse, it dawns on you that they haven't been comparing the same sport. It's similar to unintentionally straying into the Champions League final while attending a neighborhood kickabout.
Coming me as a Brit, living in the USA, about to try Texas barbecue for the first time. So I got the food. Their back season tour is in full effect. So I got a free meat plate first. It's got ribs, brisket, and jalapeno.
We are in Houston, Texas, and you can't come to Texas without eating barbecue.
We're here at Pinkerton's Barbecue. It's been highly recommended. Let's try it.
Let's go!
This is apparently the best barbecue spot in all of America.
The fact that this change occurs repeatedly makes it fascinating. Despite having diverse histories, expectations, and countries, the responses ultimately appear strikingly similar.
Wow.
Boys, where are we going? Grill out. To Hutchinson's Barbecue Grill. What else are we doing? Watching English performance. Are you even English, bro? Permanent visa.
The self-assurance vanishes. The eyes enlarge. Discussions become more subdued. Eventually, someone takes a bite that fundamentally alters their perception of the flavor of smoked meat. It follows a sequence that is nearly predictable. Curiosity now follows, followed by incredulity and then silence. At last, they start thinking about how to convey this event to everyone back home without coming across as utterly absurd. A tourist who had tried barbecue in a number of other nations acknowledged that nothing had prepared him for real Texas barbecue. He believed the European versions were great and had enjoyed them. Standing in front of trays filled with ribs, brisket, and smoked sides, however, seemed like stepping into a completely different culinary realm. Every tray that arrived at the table resembled an edible museum display rather than lunch, making it impossible to conceal the enthusiasm. Usually, the brisket is the first item that catches everyone's eye. People are fixated on its appearance even before they taste it.
Burnt ends.
Oh, yeah, we throw away the burnt parts. Let's do the brisket, the pork.
And the burnt ends.
I don't know.
You don't what?
I don't know. It's burnt, bro. It's burnt.
Baked beans.
Definitely not baked beans.
Why not?
Baked beans give me crazy gas.
It's bigger than your face.
Bigger than my head. I've been deprived my whole life from Texas barbecues. Look at this food. Look at this. Beans, mac and cheese.
Sitting around slices that appear almost unbelievably juicy is the bark, a dark outer crust that has an oddly hypnotic quality. American pitmasters frequently discuss low and slow cooking, yielding fat, bark, and smoke rings with visitors. However, those statements don't start to make sense until the meat is really in front of them. When Europeans witness this for the first time, it has become a kind of entertainment in and of itself, because they find it hard to believe what they are witnessing. Pointing at the brisket, someone observes the ring of pink smoke beneath the crust. Juices gather on the cutting board as someone else carefully taps the slice with their fingertips and watches it spring back. The artistry involved is already appreciated before anyone has taken a mouthful. It becomes clear that this was not assembled in a single afternoon. It is the outcome of perseverance, accuracy, and a nearly compulsive attention to detail.
First thing, we're going to try mashed potato. I like this. I'm going to give 5 out of 7. Next, we have creme corn. It was not enough to eat off the cob. You have to have creme mixed in. Let's try this decadence. Wow, this is actually very good. I'm going to give that.
Today we brought some British uni students to try American barbecue for the first time.
Right.
Yeah? Very cool. Southern style barbecue, a little bit different than how we do barbecue here in the UK. We went to the south of America, we did a little tour.
The conversation instantly shifts once the sampling starts. People start discussing texture rather than meat. According to one European, the brisket's edges had a deeper, meteor-like bite because of the bark, but the center melted like butter. Because both events occurred in the same slice, that contrast turned out to be one of the biggest surprises. It was tough to stop reaching for more because each bite gave something slightly different. Brisket remains tough without patience. It becomes famous with perseverance. Throwing away the brisket decades ago feels, in retrospect, almost like selling stock in a little technology company before anyone understood it was going to be worth billions. There is a great sense of humor in hindsight.
Oh my gosh, it's Josh! I'm so excited to meet you. Great to meet you. So excited to meet you. Yes.
We have arrived in the Smoky Mountains area. We are in fact actually on Dolly Park Parkway. The cutest thing I think I've ever seen. The first thing that we have decided to do, we've literally just got here, is go to get
Brisket, of course, never remains on the table by itself for very long. When the ribs finally arrive, everyone has a new favorite. Because St. Louis-style ribs mix exquisite appearance with extraordinary softness, they produce a unique kind of show. Visitors see the meat gradually separating from the bone without totally disintegrating, producing the precise balance that pit experts have spent years perfecting. When barbecue sauce is added, the experience gets much better. Wide eyes and passionate agreement that the pairing somehow boosted both flavors at once followed almost soon after the first mouthful. Few people anticipated the balance created by the tart mustard, which cut through the richness of the pork without overpowering it. It's interesting to note that after trying everything on the menu, not everyone thought brisket was still the best.
Get a good chunk out of there. Good little piece. Oh, look at that. I got the moist cut, whatever that means. He said it was a little more fatty, so let's see. Oh my days. Oh my days.
Hey, have you guys been seeing these videos of like the Europeans coming to America for the World Cup and trying like going to Buc-ee's, doing all this stuff? Watch this video of these guys getting ribs for the first time, some English dudes.
Unexpectedly, some guests decided that the best part of the meal was the ribs. It caused the kind of amicable argument that fans of barbecue have likely been having for decades. Do flawlessly smoked ribs earn the title, or is brisket the pinnacle of success? It is hard to criticize when both candidates taste wonderful, even though there may never be a consensus. Another French visitor approached Texas BBQ with a curiosity that bordered on science. Instead of just eating, she wanted to know why brisket was so revered. She soon learned that BBQ is more than just cooking. Patience is the foundation of the entire procedure. It had taken days for the brisket she was going to sample to get to that stage.
Seasoning and resting were the first steps, which allowed each spice to seep deeply into the flesh.
After that, it spent 10 to 12 hours in a Texas oak-fueled smoker, where the mild heat gradually turned an uncompromising cut into something incredibly soft. The brisket was still unfinished even after being removed from the smoker. Before it was delivered to the consumer, it rested for several more hours, giving every last bit of moisture and rendered fat time to settle.
Eat it.
Okay.
Not with a fork.
Okay.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. Sorry.
Enjoy holding your food and eating it like that.
I
It's
do.
okay
I
to
love
do it.
eating with
Okay.
hands.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay. No.
What does that look like to you?
Mud.
For your first ever bite of Texas barbecue, I think we should try some burnt ends.
Oh my god, that just melted in my mouth.
Yeah.
I can't even explain.
The entire supper was altered upon discovering that procedure. All of a sudden, the tray's slices stood for much more than lunch. They were an example of artistry measured in days rather than minutes. The French guest was almost as pleased by that degree of commitment as by the flavor itself, because each step called for moderation rather than shortcuts. Barbecue almost seems rebellious in a society where speed is everything. As she studied each piece, she saw features that seasoned barbecue enthusiasts recognized right away. The bark smelled strongly like smoke without being burned. Beneath the surface, the rendered fat glistened. Each slice bowed organically without shattering. She acknowledged that it appeared more like something made by an artisan than regular food before she took her first taste. Then there was a minor cultural shift that made everyone in the audience laugh. She grudgingly gave up her knife and fork after reading innumerable comments advocating for eating brisket with bare hands. That felt a little strange to someone who grew up with European eating customs.
It smelled amazing. You just kind of go for it.
I don't know.
They are succulent.
I don't even like ribs. These are delicious. Oh my god.
Oh, I'll just take some. Got attacked by a bird. That's alright. I'm trying to meet now. Look at this. Look how juicy that is, all the fat dripping off it. Sauce. No, I'm good. I'm
Thank you.
But in a matter of seconds, manners lost all significance as the brisket required undivided attention. The initial bite elicited the exact response that innumerable spectators had anticipated. Rather than biting into thick steak, she tasted something incredibly tender and tasty. The meat's inherent richness was not overpowered by the lingering smoky aroma, and each mouthful was unique due to the layer-by-layer seasoning that was ingrained in the bark. After touring the United States locations and trying barbecue in several locations, her conclusion was even more astounding. She acknowledged that she had eaten delicious brisket abroad, but nothing she had ever tasted came close to what was on that Texas tray. That wasn't a critique of other areas. Rather, it represented Texas's virtually legendary standing in barbecue culture. When brisket takes center stage, Texans appear to live up to standards that are difficult for outsiders to match.
What a platter might look like, but you're missing the star of the show.
No, what is that? That is massive. Oh my word.
That looks lovely.
What does that look like to you?
Like a burnt steak.
Tiny little British palettes.
Yes, we're blown.
Revived, like the mosquito from Jurassic Park.
I've ordered a nice little selection for us. Okay. I hope you're hungry. Oh, fantastic. Look at that.
Numerical ratings were virtually worthless by the conclusion of the dinner. It seemed excessively conservative to give the brisket a score of 10 out of 10, since it implied that it could still be improved. The encounter had evolved into something far more memorable than typical restaurant reviews. It became one of those meals that people talked about for years afterward, not because it was pricey or elite, but rather because it fundamentally changed their perception of what barbecue could be. That appears to be the unifying factor for a great number of Europeans. When they arrive, they anticipate delicious grilled meat. They go, perplexed as to how a whole culinary custom was able to remain unnoticed for so long. Much of those responses are impressive. They become much more intriguing when the narrative moves outside of Europe. Because the next guest comes from a location where American BBQ is not just strange, but nearly unthinkable.
Macaroni and cheese, our famous collard greens, and our green beans. These are all, get you guys a little bit of dessert too if you have room for it.
my goodness, of course we're going to try the meat first. So let's just, I'm not going to use my knives and forks because I've seen a lot of videos where people are like, no.
What we got? Oh, Lord.
Oh my god. Does that look good or water? So, oh my goodness.
Oh, pick between the two.
Sausages.
The contrast was made even more striking by the next response, which came from someone whose culinary experiences were influenced by one of the world's most remote nations. For him, American BBQ was more than just another local dish to try. It stood for a completely distinct culinary culture, one centered on experimentation, wealth, and a degree of diversity that was nearly impossible to comprehend at once. Joining a true American barbecue restaurant was more like joining an exhibition devoted to patience, fire, and smoke than it was a place to eat. Immediately, the enormity of everything became apparent. Brisket sliced thicker than some steaks, racks of ribs shimmering under a caramelized crust, smoked sausage brimming with juices, creamy macaroni and cheese, baked beans, cornbread, and pickles that for some reason didn't overpower the meal, but rather kept each rich bite perfectly balanced.
Also got mac and cheese and collard greens. Collard greens, so collard greens first. Yeah. Mac and cheese. It made me whisper.
Good.
Can you imagine getting ribs like that?
You know, you don't want
Over
it
here.
falling apart to be cooked.
It'll never happen.
Just,
I've
you know,
never
it's
seen a
not,
rib like
Never
that.
happen.
It's not falling apart, not overcooked, but it just gently just pulls apart.
Okay, now I'm getting
So
hungry,
tender.
and apparently so is the rest.
Our ribs in the UK.
It appeared nearly dramatic to someone who was not experienced with this type of dining. There was enough food on each table around him to serve multiple people. However, because the variety made the experience thrilling from start to finish, customers happily worked through every single bite. From a foreign perspective, one feature that Americans frequently overlook proved unexpectedly fascinating. Barbecuing often refers to cooking over direct flames for a brief amount of time in various countries. The principle behind American BBQ is quite different. The meat appears to disintegrate with nearly little effort because of this gradual change. It's not magic. First-time visitors frequently make jokes that it must be, but it's actually collagen slowly melting into gelatin, fat rendering gradually throughout the muscle, and smoke subtly adding flavor layer by layer without overpowering the beef or pork's inherent flavor.
I think we overordered, y'all. This is massive.
God damn, that suck, yeah. That breast.
It might be better than pussy, I'll be honest.
I've never had food like this. I mean, I love England, but when, you know, vinegar is your condiment.
Okay. No, I'm sorry I let it get that far. No, our mistake. Our mistake completely.
We're not used to meat being soft enough to just rip it apart without a knife.
No. Look at the...
Even though those scientific aspects sound complicated, once the initial mouthful almost completely melts before anyone has a chance to chew, they become surprisingly simple to enjoy. Because the reactions are frequently unedited, they become much more hilarious. Rather than providing well-written restaurant evaluations, patrons merely gape at the meal before giggling at how unrealistic their expectations had been. Occasionally, someone is so engrossed in the meal that they virtually stop talking. That stillness hardly needs to be translated, which makes it delightfully universal. Everyone knows what it means when a table abruptly stops talking after the first bite, regardless of ethnicity. The cultural experience was further enhanced by the drinks. For a tourist who had lived most of his life without easy access to globally renowned American products, something as commonplace as a cold Coca-Cola became unexpectedly memorable.
It's busy. It looks very American. Ribs, brisket, chicken, all the meat you could imagine.
Yeah, full one.
Absolutely sublime.
That's really good.
So it doesn't taste like mud?
No. Wow. Can't describe it. Perfect.
That is so good. It tastes like steak or smoky.
My eyes.
Enjoyment of something that millions of people take for granted served as a reminder that food is more than simply flavor. History, culture, economy, and daily life are all reflected in it, in ways that most of us don't often think about. His admiration permeated the entire meal, making each course seem like a tiny discovery, while other guests concentrated on the BBQ. Eventually, the topic of conversation shifted from dining out to everyday living. Finding out that a typical fast food dinner could be regarded as an unthinkable luxury in another place made the BBQ experience seem completely different. It brought to light how lucky many individuals are to have options that others can only dream about. All of a sudden, the platters of smoked meat were more than generous servings. They began to represent freedom in the kitchen and accessibility, concepts that many Americans may ignore only because they've become used to them.
This is your first ever time eating Texas barbecue.
Amazing! This is a big ass cheesecake.
Oh, this has to be the crispiest bit of brisket I've ever seen in my life. Oh.
When two British visitors showed there with their own preconceived notions, the narrative changed once more. Even though they had experienced a wide variety of cuisine while traveling, real American barbecue continued to have an almost legendary reputation. They realized why the locals were talking about the ribs so enthusiastically as soon as they arrived at the table. With every mouthful, the meat fell away with ease, clinging to the bone just enough to provide texture. It was sitting in that elusive sweet spot that pitmasters pursue for years, rather than being undercooked or crumbling into mush. One of them chuckled and said that those who make cuisine like this ought to start referring to themselves as artists instead of chefs. Until the camera stayed on the tray long enough for viewers to recognize the artistry involved, it sounded overdone. Numerous hours of practice were reflected in the glossy bark, the soft smoke ring, and the meticulous slicing. Nothing seemed to be coincidental. Every component appeared deliberate, from the meat's color to the harmony of flavor and smoking.
No, it can't show. This might be the best barbecue food I've ever eaten in my life.
I have nothing to say.
I almost want to cry. That's so good. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The next time a British person or a French person tries to tell me that American food is not good, I'm going to sit them down, I'm going to take their eyelids back, and I'm going to show them this food. American food.
Another stereotype was also refuted by their responses. It's macaroni and cheese this time. A tourist acknowledged that he had never been all that excited about the dish, anticipating little more than cheese sauce-covered spaghetti. That opinion vanished almost immediately after taking a taste of the smoked BBQ version. He acknowledged that it was by far the best macaroni and cheese he had ever had, demonstrating once more how barbecue restaurants can turn even the most basic side dishes into standout features. The smoked turkey was possibly the biggest surprise. Turkey has a terrible reputation throughout most of Europe for being so dry that it needs a lot of gravy just to survive supper. It makes sense that expectations were modest. However, those presumptions were totally refuted by the smoked turkey that emerged from the pit. Rather than dry slices, they discovered meat that was remarkably moist and retained the faint smokiness that characterized the entire dinner.
I can't believe there's no sauce in England. No, it's still got the bone on it. This is the best. Go to Blonzo, it's amazing. So good.
No, like you have to, with the bone, you have to scrape your teeth on the bone to get some meat off.
There's more meat on a sausage than there is on a rib.
Oh, yeah, way more. Way more.
It's the Texas, because there was a huge line starting to form outside. Trey and his team continued the rest.
As everyone struggled to comprehend how turkey of all things had become one of the day's biggest surprises, the incredulity around the table soon gave way to hilarity. By then, a recognizable pattern had developed in all of the included nationalities. The guests' expectations were the same whether they were from Britain, France, or even one of the most remote societies on Earth. When they got there, they thought the barbecue was just grilled meat with sauce. They departed with an appreciation for the fact that American BBQ is a whole heritage based on generations of refinement, patience, and accuracy. It is nearly impossible to view a typical backyard picnic the same way once that reality sets in.